The purpose of my story is to convey and change the opinion of society, or rather humanity, about the cause of alcohol addiction. We simply do not understand and cannot imagine what is really happening to us humans and what kind of world we live in. And what happened to me was simply a terrible destruction of my life. There is no other way to call it. Yes, and it's great that it was recorded on video in a government agency when all this happened to me. It appears that a small portion of the incident was captured on video, but it is so significant that no one should doubt my veracity. This video is not intended for public viewing. It is available to deputies and their entourage, as well as senior management. I would like to explain the inexplicable and convince someone that they are being used for their insidious purposes and in their interests by supernatural forces. In our life, everything is not as simple as it seems to us and as we all imagine it. Many people don't think about it and don't even imagine what's really happening to us. We humans are on another level with supernatural forces. If you compare a cow in relation to a person, it will be approximately identical. Here is a man milking a cow, but does this cow understand that she is being used? The same thing happens with humanity. This is also what supernatural forces do to us, but we do not imagine or understand that they are using us and what is actually happening to us humans. I survived this madness in which I found myself. If not for my capabilities, I would not be in this world now. Many people who find themselves in such a situation, just like my father, not knowing reality and what happens to them in real life, are sent to the next world, or even find themselves guilty, and everyone believes that it is their fault that what is happening, how terrible it is, how everything is being done. Unless you live your life forever in a coded state, that is, without certain brain function, thereby preventing this madness. I understood and saw who benefits from this, and who has such a goal, and why it is necessary for all this to happen to us people. This doesn't just apply to alcoholism. Through many human vices, we are exposed to external influences. My story will be aimed at clarifying and explaining the reality in which we live, and ways out of this situation for those who find themselves in this difficult situation. And for those who think it will be informative and interesting, they know everything about us. They watch us. Every person has a guardian angel. Another has a demon. And in some cases, there are people who have neither. They are the ones who become potential victims of the demon. Through these forces that do not have flesh, all information about each of us reaches their leadership. Apparently, this is called the Chancellery. They have this information recorded somewhere. Either they interfere in our lives through these forces, if they want, and if they have any interest in this, and they have an interest in each of us. Both the angel and the demon were initially given a task. One, protection, the other, destruction. Since some people do not have a guardian angel, this means that there are no obstacles for a demon or this entity in one case to penetrate this shell and cause misfortune and destruction for those around this person. And in another potential victim, in which there is neither one nor the other, this means unearthly forces. This entity is looking for such a person, and having found him, he realizes his plans. Here, and an addiction to alcohol and much more, including action that can occur through love. Behind many vices, the demon hides its influence on people in order to achieve its goals. And this entity sticks to its victim, who is called codependent. It may turn out that a demon is in someone from birth, and this person turns out to be a carrier of the demon all his life, without even understanding what is happening to him. First of all, you need to delve into and understand what is happening in this situation, and, having found out who the carrier is, urgently save the possessed person from the demon, and then help and bring out of depression an addicted to alcohol person who was under the influence of the demon. When an entity needs to carry out something for its insidious plans, it goes to the first line, pushing the owner of this body, and this is the soul and mind, into the far corner. The owner of this body does not decide anything global in his life, controls its shell and uses it, the essence, in its own interests. What happens is this: the possessed person does not understand what is really happening to him and why life is not going well, and pretends to everyone that he is right, thereby blaming his victim for this. And the people around her believe and think what a sufferer, poor, unhappy she is. Moreover, if a person is turned into an alcoholic, then he is guilty of everything that happens, and the people have a negative attitude towards alcoholism. How cleverly everything is staged. In many cases, demons influence a person through alcohol or drug addiction, gambling, and I have some suspicions of overeating, that is, obesity in some cases. This needs to be understood and clarified. And through these vices into which Satan leads a person, the evil plan of this entity occurs, or rather, is introduced into life. About drug addiction. A person under the influence of a demon, having tried drugs, will be drawn to experience this state because he is out of comfort and is looking, without realizing it, for at least some kind of protection from this external influence on himself. After taking drugs, a person will immediately feel free from this pressure. He will be in a stable state for himself. The entity cannot influence its victim through drug intoxication of a person, but drugs are such a boundless infection, especially if they are heavy, it is better not to use them. The consequences of their use do not bode well for this person's life, and these consequences that affect a person's life are achieved by the demon. I lived my childhood and youth in Uzbekistan, and my words are not empty lines. I faced this and analyzed my life, realizing what was really happening to us. And now I can say with confidence what the cause of drug addiction is. The essence located in someone, next to a person addicted to alcohol, in some cases pushes him with its capabilities to some actions beneficial to Lucifer. The world of the devil carries out and brings to life such activities, all these worst moments that happen to us, and by this, he brings his interests to life. We do not understand what is really happening, and we think that this is how it should be. This is fate. Sometimes you wonder why I chose this particular course of action, among many others, which in fact turned out to be wrong. This opinion and the fact that a person believes that this particular option will be correct are created by those who benefit from it being this way and not otherwise. The stronger the pressure emanating from a possessed person on the people around him, the more demons he has. It seemed to me that there were demons of different strengths and capabilities. After all, Jesus cast out as many as 7 demons from Mary Magdalene. This means that capabilities and strength depend on the number of demons in a given person. I can imagine what insane power Mary Magdalene had and how she lived with it. Under no circumstances should you blame a person possessed by the devil. He needs help to cope with this scourge.